It's exactly 6:15. We'll call this minute meeting to order. Has everybody taken a chance to look over our minutes from our last meeting? If so, do I hear a motion?
Oh, are we not on yet? Okay.
All right, we'll hold it right
I
there.
guess we need to wait until video's on. For the thousands of people that
I
are
know
watching
it.
online.
Mm-hmm. We did have Tracy out, though. It didn't take long, though.
Your recording just may not be streamed when he texts you. It's flashing, but you are being heard.
So you're gonna go ahead and, all right, has everybody taken a chance to look over the minutes? If so, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Got a motion to have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, we need a motion to amend the minutes for this bond. Okay, he abstained on the vote of the minutes. And we need to have a motion to amend the minutes for this bond allocation. Do I hear a motion to amend the minutes? So Stacy, we're paying her good money, so we don't.
Oh, you mean the agenda?
The agenda, yeah.
Okay.
Agenda, excuse me.
Sorry. I make the motion to amend the agenda to add the bond allocation item, and I guess we'll take that up as,
Next item.
okay, next item. Next item.
All right. Who wants to explain that?
Thank
one?
you,
We
Jenny.
need Stacy on that one. Oh, we need a second on that.
I'll second that.
And all in favor? Now, do we need Stacy for this one?
Stacy would present.
All right, Stacy, would you like to present this one?
Yes, and can you hear me this evening?
Yes.
Yes. Turn her volume up a little bit.
Let me try. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. The Bond Council for the Arbor Valley Apartment Project has asked that we approve this form and that the DCA has requested. It has the $22 million amount maximum that we had approved in the MOU from last April. And it looks like they probably won't close on the bonds until next year, but the DCA has asked that they go ahead and set their limit of the maximum amount that they'll need for planning purposes for the DDA. So they'll need the DDA to sign this because we're the issuer of the bonds. So I think it looks pretty standard, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions?
Nope. So we need a motion
Do we need a
to
motion to
approve
sign?
the agreement or to authorize the chair to sign
Sign
the
it.
agreement?
Which one do we need?
Pardon?
To approve the agreement and then to authorize Jerry to execute it?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the agreement and authorize Jerry to execute it.
All right, I've got a motion to have a second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? You get everybody's vote, Tracy?
Yes.
Okay, so if I sign this, okay, we'll move on down to number 3, financial report.
Okay, we had the small amount of activity like we normally do, just some legal fees and interest. So we have our balance in the account right now is 63,788. That's as of the end of September. But then we've got some outstanding items, and some of that money's reserved, and I wanted to get into that because there's a lot of things on the agenda about spending money tonight. So when we take out the reserve funds, which is the gateway signage of almost $43,000, another invoice that we have, and the insurance that we have to pay, it's a total of $43,920. So available funds right now is $19,868. So that's all we have available to spend in the account. And also keep in mind that that money's not being replenished anyway right now. All we've done is spend money so far. There's really no revenue coming into it. So just want to make everyone aware of where we stand there.
So that's 19,
19,868 and some change. Any questions?
I have one on, what's the update on the signage?
I don't have any update.
You don't have any update?
We know we've got to pay for it at some point, and it's that 42,000.
Any question from Carl? If not, we'll move on down to number 4, old business, update on electric car station. I just found this and
I'm sorry, do you need Stacy and Mark or Steve?
I don't think we need Stacy. Her time is very valuable.
She can leave if she wants to. You said Stacy, thank you.
Okay, I just got this in my Georgia Power bill that shows about electric, and I think you said that the same address.
Yes, I mean, it's through Georgia Power. I don't know if this is anything different than what I looked at earlier in the year. At that point, it was going to cost about $500 a month for a lease type program for them to put the station in. If this is a grant that they've reapproved or put money into, maybe it could be something to look into.
Okay. Would you like to look back into that?
Yeah, I'll have to find, I printed out everything that they sent me, but I could not find the email tonight.
We can get with Chris Montesinos as well, who works in community development, and see if he knows of any grants.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I had on that then. Update on status of facade grant application revision. Was this one Bill's?
I put it on there.
You
I
put
just
it on.
wanted to kind of get an update. I know we talked April, May. I'll lose track of this year, but we spoke earlier in the year about redoing the application, but I don't know that any activity's been done on that, nor who's
You
gonna.
guys need to, based upon what I sent you, give me your recommendations and then vote on it. So
Okay.
whatever you guys want to change or update, you guys need to talk about it, vote on it, and I will change that online.
I do remember that now, Janet. About when did you send that? I remember you sending that email now, so I can go dig it out. Do you remember about ballpark when you sent it off?
Well, as far as the application for you guys
Mhm.
to review, last week.
Oh,
Sent it
was it
several
last week?
times.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right,
Sent it.
thanks.
I resent it, yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, it's been a busy month.
I have
That
got,
would be my suggestion, is look at it, go through what you want to change, the verbiage, then you guys would, I would assume, vote on it, and then we can change it.
I have got a question here.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There seemed to be some confusion last week about an application or a potential application from the Presbyterian Church. Is that right?
There's not
Mhm.
confusion, Bill. The simple thing is that everybody was not here to vote on no. So that's why I brought it back up, so we can get a consensus of no, we don't want to do that, and then I can get back with the Presbyterian Church. There's not confusion. I know the majority of you guys via email said, or here, that were here said, that's not what we typically do. I just need a vote from everybody or some people that says, yay, we want to do it, or no, we don't, and then I can get back with them and say, we don't typically do that.
And that's
Well,
coming up later
the
on.
original facade grant was really aimed at revenue producing properties downtown.
And that's actually in the new business section.
Yeah.
We'll bring it
Right.
back up.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on old business? Move on down to new business. Considering funding for a portion of police department security vests. I believe that's Bill's, right?
That is mine, yes. I had put it on there for last month, and evidently you discussed it a little bit at a later meeting last month, and I put that on there for several reasons. Of course, the downtown police department is just as much a part of our city infrastructure as water, sewer, roads, trash pickup, and everything else. Without an adequate police department, the infrastructure is incomplete. And I will quickly share some history with you that I have about law enforcement. At the age of like 19, I was riding with my future father-in-law, who was a sergeant at State Patrol Station, and he asked me to ride with him one night. And I thought, well, this is a great opportunity for me, so I did. We had to chase down a car up on State Road 120, and when he got out to go up the car, he reached into the back seat, got a pump 12 gauge and handed it to me and said, "Cover me." And I thought, what am I doing here? And that gave me a real appreciation for the danger that these people are in. Last week on Van Wert Road, a deputy pulled over a car, and I guess most of you are aware of this, but this was like at 3:30 in the morning. As the deputy approached the car, a gunshot went off. Turns out there was a young man in the back seat with a modified AR that was planning on shooting the deputy and evidently accidentally killed himself. Today, in my front yard, of all things, there were 3 deputies pursuing a stolen car, and they did a pit maneuver right in my front yard and put the car up on the bank in front of my house. They jumped out with their pistols drawn, and it turns out it was a fugitive that had stolen a car. And I thought, all of these people are putting their lives at risk, and I think we should do what we can to minimize that risk. And I spoke to the chief about this several weeks back. These vests that you saw last month are designed to withstand a rifle shot. And I asked the chief, well, do you want a half a dozen or so? He said, no, we need one for everybody because you never know who might respond to what. And he said they were $1,000 a piece, roughly. And I gave him some money on my own. And Carl, I understand you and Andy did also. I think that's great. But I would like for the DDA to appropriate $5,000 to buy those vests to help out the sheriff's department to meet their goal for a bulletproof vest for every officer that we have. And that's a motion.
Okay, we got that motion. Do we have that second?
The motion is $5,000?
And we don't have, but
Yes.
did you hear what we had in our account, Bill?
Yeah, we got $19,868.
Yeah.
I realize how much it is. My life's worth a lot.
No, I entirely support our law enforcement and our VRPD. However, it has been raised to me by a couple of folks whether or not this is in the scope of the DDA spending authority. And I understand your view as it being infrastructure. However, it's not traditionally something that may fit within the statute that authorizes DDA spending. So I'm a little concerned about really using DDA funds to donate.
Well, if it's not within the scope of the statute, then we can't do it. But I think it's a worthwhile use of our funds,
Can we get Stacy
considering
back? Can we get
He's probably already
Stacy
gone.
back? Can Stacy come back and let's ask? Cause, you know,
Can Stacy come back? But she's already left the building, I think. You gonna see if you can get her? Tracy will try to see if she can get Stacy right quick.
cause I think if we have a motion on the floor you know, and it is an excellent point. You know, lives are very important. And it's a gray area that our board's struggling with. I think we need to get her back because she was available, so that we can talk about this. I mean, is it or isn't it? I mean, I agree a life is very important, and, you know, we have 19,000, 5 is a lot, but, you know, there's some excellent points there because lives are, you can't replace that. So it would be important for me to see what Stacy, you know, has to say about it from a legal standpoint.
Well, the shooting on Van Wert last week, according to the occupants of the car that were left, the guy in the back seat was planning on shooting the deputy when he got there. And they were arguing with him about not doing it. And he had a modified AR that evidently accidentally went off. You know, it's kind of fortunate that it did. Unfortunately, he killed himself when he did it.
Janet, do you know where they stand as far as funding? I haven't talked to Chief since the benefit.
I think they have enough, and I don't want to speak for him, Andy, I'd
Yeah.
rather not say.
Okay.
But they've raised quite a bit, but I think the scope, again, I don't have a problem with it, but I think $5,000 for the amount that's in our budget that's a lot to take away, when we don't know where we're gonna be next year as well.
With side grants, if somebody
We
could,
have the money for the gateway sign and all that stuff, so.
Tracy, I'm sorry. What was, were you able to get a hold of her?
Yeah, she's gonna call. She was in the car, but she said she'd be home in a second. Call back in.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello?
There she is.
Oh, there she is.
Hey,
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
can she hear you?
I know. I'm sorry. I must have done something wrong with my phone. But I'm here now. If you have a question?
Stacy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Commissioner Taylor has made a motion to use DDA funds to donate to the Villa Rica Police Department's vest fundraiser. And it was brought up to me by a couple of persons prior to tonight's meeting that this may be outside the scope of the DDA's spending authority or the statute that governs our spending authority. And I brought that up not realizing that you had already left, or I knew you had already left, but not thinking that maybe we should have had you stay, and I apologize for that. But do you have an opinion on whether something like this would fit under the DDA's spending authority or the statute that governs the DDA?
And I'm not sure I caught all that, but is it for some charitable purpose for the police department? Is that the proposed expenditure?
Yes. Fundraiser.
A fundraiser? I think
It is.
and I don't have my board book with me. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I think like it's generally to promote trade, commerce for the downtown area. So I'm not sure, like a charitable gift is typically not something a development or a DDA would do, unless we can tie it to somehow with downtown commerce. So it's really not within, I think, the contemplated purposes of a development authority.
And I do have one question on that note. When we made like a donation for the hospital, wouldn't it be along those same lines, you know, when they were on the front lines for COVID? So that's where I would really like a description, because what Bill is proposing, Mr. Taylor, it seems if we base it on what we've done like earlier this COVID season, you know, maybe 5,000 is too much. Maybe we could reduce it, but that's where I would just like a little clarity, because I'm a newbie. That's what my son would call me. So I just would like I would like to understand it better, just so we can better serve, because to me, it feels like the same as giving money to COVID, you know, for the people at the hospital.
I think the way to have, and that's probably not the typical expenditure the DDA would make either, but it was, I think, the way we could have said the purpose that within it was because it was promoting, helping a downtown restaurant, where the funds went to the downtown restaurant, which helped the workers and just the unusual circumstances during the pandemic. Because typically, I don't think we would donate for workers either, but it was to help the economics of the restaurant as well. But I can definitely get you all some materials on the typical expenditures that a DDA would have. I know some members are new and probably haven't had a chance to go to training yet because of COVID, but that's not the usual type of expenditure a DDA would have.
So Stacy,
Yes.
this is Bill. I look at the police department as an integral part of the infrastructure of the city, just as important as water, sewer, et cetera. And this is to buy bulletproof vests that would repel high-powered rifles. The vest that they wear right now will stop a pistol bullet, but not a AR or a higher powered rifle. And to me, that's part of the helping the downtown, helping the city as a whole too, to have a well-equipped police department to answer the call when necessary, which they never know when that call is going to come.
Are those, is it for the police within, is it for the police as a whole, for the whole city, or just the downtown area? Is it for
It'll be for all of the police because you don't know where they're going to be when they need them.
Right. I mean, I guess an argument could be made that would be authorized, but I think it's a little bit out of the ordinary, and I think your board will want to look, is this the best purpose of these funds that I think you have some funds from the city and that you're charged with helping the downtown area. So I think that's not the typical expenditure I would see for helping the DDA with the DDA purposes.
Okay.
All right, we had a motion. Does that motion die?
Should we table it until we get the further
Yeah,
information?
If we want to table this, we'll have a motion to table this till we get more understanding from Stacy.
I make that motion.
All right, well, we got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Wait, what was the motion? I had trouble hearing. Was it to table it?
A motion to table till we get a better understanding from Stacy Blackman.
I agree. Yes, I agree with that.
Did everybody agree to that there? Bill,
Bill, did you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
thank you.
Okay, consideration of facade grant for First Presbyterian Church. I think we halfway been over that one anyway, right?
Yeah, so Tracy mentioned to me if I wanted to bring it back up just to get a full census of you guys' opinion on that and then vote on it. So as you guys know, one of the members of the church, the First Presbyterian Church, had reached out to me to see if churches in the downtown area were a consideration for facade. So if you guys want to discuss and then vote so that I can let him know one way or the other what your opinion is on that.
I think Bill just about summed it up anyway, so.
Do they have an active business license?
I would have to check.
Okay. That was my only question throughout that, but reading over the application, it does, like Bill said, it needs to be something related to a profitable or something to bring economic value.
Okay.
It is my understanding that churches are not liable for any kind of property taxes, which would be the main function for a facade grant, would be to raise the tax base for the downtown area.
Okay.
So we do have a motion to deny.
So moved.
We got a motion from Bill. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I heard a second from somebody. Was that
Kim.
Kimberly? All right. Motion and second. All in favor?
Okay.
Okay, discussion of possible grant for attracting new restaurants downtown.
I was, in bringing up the other application status and looking at that, could we come up with a way to have a matching grant, very similar to the facade grant, for a restaurant that wanted to make improvements to their restaurant to either offer something different, offer something new, something in a way to help restaurants in this time and in any time, just to be able to look at something and have a little less investment in something if they want to try to bring in a different, say, uncorked, if they wanted to bring in a pizza oven and it
Kinda
was,
like
I
Main
cannot
Street.
hear Andy.
sorry, Bill, say Uncorked wanted to bring in a pizza oven and come in and put up a proposal, just like the facade grant, hey, it's going to cost X amount, and you come in and match it, and we rewrite or write a new grant application based on that, specifically to restaurants. You know, the facade grant, that can help the exterior of something, but why can't we help a restaurant do something a little more productive and give them an opportunity here?
That's the point of the rules on grant that we just got awarded.
Doesn't the Main Street Board have something similar?
Well, similar, but that's more, to me, retail.
Well, it's part of the rule zone is that you can be used for a rehab credit.
Okay, so that could go towards.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we have that for 5 years. That's why I beg people all the time, that's money that the state is giving us, and everybody needs to take part of that. And we were hosting training sessions in the beginning, and then COVID hit, obviously, but we absolutely, that is what they need to take advantage of that rule zone. And it's all that information is online, everything they need, the application. Certainly, I don't ultimately approve that. The DCA approves that, but all they have to do is turn in the application for me. But we see stuff all the time. Miss Sharon and I and Shannon drive around, and we're like, why didn't they come to us first to get that money, where it be rehab or tax credit or investment credit? I mean, that is absolutely what that is, the intention of that grant is.
Okay. Does it read that way online to that effect, or is it
Yes.
just kind of read into it? Okay.
And
So
then
it says to you as a business owner, it says to you as someone who's renting property, all that is laid out, page upon page. And then if they have questions, they certainly can call us. For
And
sure.
also, I think, as Jerry was pointing out, Main Street has a very similar grant program too, when purchasing equipment and so forth.
Right, but we're not offering any grants for the rest of the year. We haven't since
Okay.
February. We don't have any revenue coming in. We're not generating revenue because we're not having events, so we can't offer any grants. But obviously, you guys have the facade, but as far as boost grant and exterior improvement grant, we can't offer any of that for the rest of the year because we don't have the funds to do so. We only can offer that if funds are available.
Right.
But hopefully in '21, we'll get back to normal.
That answer your question, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's good to know. The other grant is an option. The other grant, is it a match or is it a full grant?
Boost is not a match. Exterior improvement is a match.
No, the
Facade.
rural. No, the
Oh, I don't think it's a match. Does that help?
very much.
Okay.
All right, moving on down to number 4, discussion of November, December meetings.
Typically, I don't think we meet in November because it's the week of Thanksgiving. Do you guys want to give feedback on that? And then the next meeting is the Monday after Christmas week. So we need to discuss meeting.
We
I
don't
don't think we
usually have
meet
one.
November or December, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I think we usually meet in November, but no
Not in
December meeting.
December, yeah.
Okay.
But if we don't have anything really pushing,
But, I mean, November, we could meet on the 16th if, you know, people don't want to do Thanksgiving week.
yeah, if we had anything called,
Yeah, if you guys have something, let's make a vote on it for November, and then we'll plan not to meet in November, but you guys need to make a motion so we can put that on the calendar.
You mean not to meet in December?
Correct.
Okay.
And then we can change the November meeting to that 16th, the Monday before? Okay.
do we have a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move the November meeting to the 16th and not have a December meeting.
All right, have a
Second.
motion, have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Thanks.
Okay, number 6, public comment. Item for future agenda.
I actually have something for that, maybe. It was kind of public comment, but maybe an item for future agenda. Since I was already thinking about this, Janet, and then when you brought up the rural zone, it kind of also kind of thought maybe this will fold in there. Do we have any kind of contact or communications with the owner of, I guess it's called the Spanish Corner, right there at the corner of Peachtree, South Dogwood, the commonly known as the Pepto-Bismol building? Do we have any communication with them? Have we? Yeah, have we? I mean, maybe we just talk to him about, make sure he's aware of these rural zone grant, and maybe some pressure washing and some paint to update it a little bit at
That was
least.
Pike.
Honestly, the thought and our understanding was what that, when he painted, when the roof fell in on that one side, that
Mhm.
all of that was gonna get fixed, which did not happen, but certainly we can.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. And I don't know if you need any support from us to the extent it needs to be an item on the future agenda, I guess.
I had another thing on future agenda items too, to update on Butterballs. I've noticed that they've been doing some work done on Butterballs, so I'd like to update next meeting, or you can go to give it to us now then.
So the city council recently approved our 2021 budget. Within that was $500,000, which Matt can talk a little bit about more, but that would be the exterior for this year, for 21, and then hopefully for the following year we can do interior, but that's my understanding, is the 500 is for the exterior, correct, Matt?
That is exactly right.
Good.
Yes.
Progress is being seen then.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else on first future agenda? Executive session. Do I have motion to adjourn the DDA meeting?
So moved.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? All right, it's 6:47, we'll call the CVB meeting to order. Has everybody taken a chance to look over the minutes from our last meeting? If so, do I hear a motion?
I wasn't, oh, we had, oh, no, this is, that's right, we
you
were,
were
I
missed.
was here, August 24th, right? Okay, I thought this was the one I missed, I apologize. I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, financial report, I
No, that
think
was,
Carl's.
was that just for the regular meeing? And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the special called meeting on October 1st.
Okay, do I have a second on that one?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, you get everybody's vote, Tracy? Okay, moving on down to 3, financial report. I think Carlton handed out a sheet on that.
Yeah, I handed out and I emailed it to you guys that are online. I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but I sent out an email about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I guess it was, with the same report we've been looking at every month. On one side, you've got your revenue and expenses for the year to date as of the end of September, so January through the end of September. And you'll see that it's down close to $20,000 from last year, which is actually better than we thought it would be, considering COVID. And you'll notice the expenses, we cut out a lot and when we were redoing the budget because of COVID. So we're actually in decent shape, because while the revenue's down about 20,000, the expenses are down 38,000. So we do have a little bit of a surplus there, so that's good. But I know that Sharon hadn't been able to travel or do anything, and now she's starting to travel again and do some things. So, well, those expenses will probably catch up, but we'll still stay within the revised budget numbers. And then on the back side of that, or on the second page for you guys that got it online, just this running tally I've been doing every month, comparing this year to last year, in terms of the tax collections that we're getting each month. And you'll see that it's still down from last year, but it's seeming to be picking back up. You know, it's September was off about $3,000. But if you look back in the worst of it, you know, we were about $4,000 off in May. So overall for the year, you know, we're down 20,000, like I said, but this just kind of gives you a trend of how things are going with the hotels.
Any questions from Carl?
Sharon, do you have anything to add to that? Nope. Okay.
All right, moving on down to number 4, old business update on tourism. That must be Miss Sharon.
Trip over stuff. I just wanted to let y'all know what I have been doing. We hosted travel writers on the 10th through the 12th. They actually left on the 12th. One of the articles was pitched before they got here. There was there was a couple, so actually 3 of them, a couple and then a separate gentleman that was with them. But so she pitched their story about Villa Rica before she came here to travelawaits.com, and I've heard of that website. It's a online. They get 1 million views a month, and they actually picked the story up. So the article, she has to have it turned in by Wednesday. So she's gonna, they want to know about the Gold Museum, the train, and we took them to Uncork, and they really enjoyed Uncork. They really enjoyed Evans Barbecue. So those are some of the stories that'll be coming out. They also, and I just kind of took them around the area. They wanted to see the surrounding cities, so we went to Douglasville and we went to Carrollton, and they gave us some, gave me some pointers on what, if we could get the downtown businesses to do here, expand their hours or things like that, especially on the week, on a Sunday after church, because there was a lot of foot traffic in Carrollton. So we took note of that and just some ideas. But she also will be writing a story for Travel the South. It's a food, wine, and travel magazine, and that's going to be coming out next month. The other thing, she's wanting to do a live feed with Uncorked and the owners of Uncorked and me and Wesley. We did a live feed while they were here, Wesley and I. And I went to the AAA offices, dropped off some brochures in Atlanta and the Atlanta and Marietta offices. Last Friday, went to Ringgold, so the state welcome centers are now, they had taken all of the brochures out of the racks, I mean, all of them, but they are putting them back in. So that's good, because it just kind of shows that tourism is slowly kind of ticking back up. And there was a lot of people coming through when I was there, mostly seniors. I figured they were the snowbirds heading to Florida, but that's a good center for us there, right off of 75. And got a request from the State Tourism Department last week. AAA Magazine was looking for events for March and April of 2021. So I sent them our jazz festival, and I'm going to have Wesley send his cowboy festival, whatever he's going to do in April next year. And I started a new YouTube channel for Visit Villa Rica. So if you're on YouTube, yeah, I knew you were going to do YouTube, but
I got YouTube now.
okay. So go on and like our page, our Visit Villa Rica page on YouTube. And that's what's going on in the world of tourism.
All right, moving on now to number 5, new business. Discussion of November, December meetings. So we've done discussed that on the other one, so that settles that one. Okay, public comment.
Do you still need to vote to change those dates for the
CVB.
Because it's
Yeah.
set for.
Okay. We have a motion to change the meetings to the 16th for November and no meeting in December.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to change the dates for the meetings.
I got a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
And I do have one more thing before you wrap it up.
I got a question too. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Shoot, now I can't remember what it is. I thought about it while Sharon was talking, and then it left me. Oh, The new tourism board.
That's
Is
what
there-
I'm gonna ask.
Has anything happened, because we were talking about that taking effect 1/1, so we would only have one meeting left. Is that anything moving on that?
I'll discuss it with Tom on Wednesday and see, how he's gonna go about that.
So we'll get an update on that at the next meeting?
Well, that was my
Okay.
same question too, okay.
Okay, all right.
And just quickly, guys, remember, for next month, we're gonna talk about facade grant. So read the application, discuss what you wanna change, and let's talk about it in November and move on from that. So that'd be great.
All right, everybody hear that on the facade grant application? Read over it, discuss it, come back at the 16th meeting and vote on it. All right, items for future agenda. Executive sessions. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Second from Matt, all in favor? And who does this need to go to? Sign, DDR chairman, and, and all you need is that right there?
Thank you for all you do.
Hey, Alan,
Yes, sir.
is Brett getting those, or excuse me, is Wynn getting those little cards that